Hey, good morning. So today is my first day here in Peshawar and we are going to visit the historical places here. My day will start with Jamrud Fort, so I'm waiting for my bike and here are my friends from the hotel and this is the hotel manager Karim. So I will keep you updated. I am supposed to be waiting for my bike right now and once I arrive it will just take me to Jamrud Fort. So let's see. So basically right now I arrived to my destination and behind me here this is Khyber Gate or Bab Khyber, and I came to this area actually to see three things. The first thing was Jamrud Fort, and I can show you the fort from here actually, just the top of the fort. Can you see? This is the top of Jamrud Fort, and I wanted also to see the tomb of Hari Singh Nalwa, and the third thing here is to watch Khyber Gate. But because he told me that you can't go inside the fort because the fort is closed, like there is like a military base or something like that, entry is not allowed, then I couldn't enter there. But I think I will just stay here for a while and tell you the story of that fort. In fact, Jamrud Fort was built by the Sikh general Hari Singh Nalwa. And before speaking about the fort, let's speak about Hari Singh Nalwa himself. So Hari Singh Nalwa, he was like the chief of staff of the Sikh military at the time of the Sikh Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And actually he was the responsible of the Sikh expansion in all this area. For example, he was the one who captured Kasur, he was the one who captured the Sialkot, then Multan, and then Peshawar, and in the end he came here to Jamrud. And he was the one who, with the idea of establishing a fort here in this area. He laid the first stone of Jamrud Fort over here, and he stayed here for a while. Then what happened, that Nihal Singh, like the great grandson of Ranjit Singh, and the son of Karak Singh, like Karak Singh was the second Sikh emperor, and Nihal Singh was the third, but Nihal Singh was getting married. So Hari Singh Nalwa had to send like some of his men to the court, to the Sikh court, to celebrate the marriage of the prince. Then what happened, that the king of Afghanistan knew that the fort was left without any protection, and he decided to attack the fort. He attacked the fort, but Hari Singh Nalwa managed to defend the fort very well, but he was injured severely, and because of his injury he died, and he was buried in a place inside the fort itself. But the Afghans didn't manage to capture the fort because reinforcement came and they managed to force the Afghans to retreat back to Kabul. So yeah, I just wanted to see like the tomb of the greatest Sikh general like all over history, because after the death of Hari Singh Nalwa nothing further happened. Like the Sikh empire didn't expand anymore in this direction. So because of him, it was him, he was the responsible of the expansion of the Sikh empire. So this is like in brief the story of Jamrud Fort and the story of Hari Singh Nalwa. Now we will speak about Khyber Gate. Khyber Gate, this is not only the entry like from Afghanistan to Pakistan, this was considered to be the gate of India, like in the time of the British Raj or the Mughal Empire. Like right now they say India is from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, but back then when it was all one country they used to say that it is from Khyber to Kanyakumari. And yes, actually many great armies crossed to Pakistan and India from this gate, like Cyrus the Great, Darius, Alexander the Great, and even Genghis Khan. So all these kings crossed to this land through that gate. And at that time Khyber Gate wasn't considered to be like a trade way. It was just a military way, like a military way that gave you an access to go to India. But later, after like the establishment of the trade between the East and the West, Khyber Gate became like a main part of the Silk Road, and all the caravans used to cross through Khyber Gate. So yeah, that was just like a brief introduction of Khyber Gate. Now I return back to my ride, and during my ride, wait, I think there's like a museum inside, but these guys over there, they're recording. So one thing actually I like here that they're giving like an introduction about Khyber Gate here. For example, the Khyber Pass and its geography. So we're speaking about now like a main route inside the Hindu Kush mountains. It was connecting the east with the west. The tribes of the Khyber range, all the tribes that live there, and most of them are Afghan tribes. And then in this part, they're speaking about the Khyber Gate in ancient times and how all these kingdoms, how all like Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Darius the Great, Cyrus the Great, how all of them managed to conquer India from this part. And here, there is like a map here. You have Afghanistan, and you have all this way considered to be called Khyber Gate. Here's Afghanistan, crossing by Peshawar, and here to the Indus Valley River. And here, the advent of Islam, how Islam, after the rise of many Islamic empires and the rise of many Islamic kingdoms, how this route was considered to be a very important route for trade and all these things. And here also Khyber Gate during the British on the scene, because there is something I want to tell. British couldn't actually advance any further. Like British defeated many kingdoms. Like, okay, they captured maybe till this area, till Peshawar, but they couldn't proceed to go inside Afghanistan. And Afghanistan, like, they were like very furious regarding their borders and the geography and all these mountains. So yeah, British people managed to capture many things, but like they arrived to Khyber Gate and it was the end of their advance in this area. Okay, so I have already seen whatever I want here, and I would like also to thank my friend Aftab for this beautiful ride, because he's taking me and because he decided to wait for me just to return me back, because here there's like no services. But meanwhile, we will have also some records from the road, because I think I didn't show you the road, and I really wanted to show you the road over here. And yes, right now we will cross Khyber Gate. I'm so glad I came here. I'm just disappointed that I couldn't visit the fort and the tomb of Hari Singh in Alwa, especially that he was like a great warrior, a very important warrior in the history, especially in the history of the Sikh and the history of the region. And yes, I just also want to show you a little bit of the road itself. It's so crowded today. So meanwhile, let's speak about Peshawar itself, because Peshawar is the sixth most populated city here in Pakistan. Like almost, how to say it, 2.5 million persons live here, and it's a very ancient city. Like they say that the construction and the existence of Peshawar like is back to 600 BC. That makes it one of the oldest cities in this region, in Central Asia. So Peshawar also was the capital of many kingdoms. Like it was first like part of many Hindu kingdoms. Then it was captured by Alexander the Great. Then it was ruled by Seleucus, one of the generals of Alexander. Then, after the rise of the Mauryan Hindu Empire, they defeated Seleucus and they captured Peshawar again. Then it was the capital of many Hindu Shahi kingdoms. Then after the rise of the Islam, it became under many Islamic kingdoms like the Ghaznavids, the Ghurids. Then the Mughals managed to capture it. After the Mughals came the Persians. After the Persians came the Afghans. After the Afghans, it was captured by the Maratha Empire. And after that, it became part of the Sikh Empire and then the British. And now, modern day, it's part of Pakistan. So yeah, you can know a lot of things about the history of this region here in Peshawar. Peshawar also, like, it was a very important center of the Buddhism as a religion also. And back there, you can see it is just like, it is the gate of Pakistan and also the gate of Afghanistan. Behind, you can see the Hindu Kush mountain range. And all these are the mountains of Afghanistan. So yeah, and what I love more about the Peshawar is the culture. And the people here are just so generous, extremely generous. I have, like, I don't know how to describe it, but I will tell you a story that happened with me yesterday. Yesterday, I met a friend of my friend. Like, I have a friend who lives in Islamabad, and once he knew that I'm going to Peshawar, he told me, I have a friend there. He would like to meet you. So I met that friend, and surprisingly, he took me for shopping. Like, he showed me around. He got me this Pashtun, what they wear on their this Pashtun hat and the Pashtun jacket, and I was just surprised. And normally I don't take gifts, but he was so insisting, and he kept telling me, no, that makes me so happy, please, you have to take it. It just felt great to be welcome in that place. So right now I am going back to Peshawar city itself, because this was like the borders of Peshawar, and right now I'm going back to Peshawar city itself. I thought it would be better to record from the farthest point, then start approaching the nearest point. And in Peshawar itself, there are like many places that we should visit. You will not believe it, but the ancestor house of Shah Rukh Khan is here. The ancestor house of Dilip Kumar is here. The ancestor house of Raj Kapoor is here. And there are many historical mosques. And sadly, it's very difficult to get access to the forts here. Like, we couldn't enter Jamrud Fort. And I think Bala Fort is the same situation. We will never be able to enter Bala Fort. But we will be able to see it from outside and to show you also the gates and the markets of the city. So yeah, this was the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next destination.